go to my Twitch. Go to my home. Where do I find the link for my stream? Stream manager? There's a thing I can do here. How do I full screen it? Settings, clip, no, none of those. Is it this? Yeah, that's what it is. Haha, okay. I figured it out. I'm very smart. One day I will make a thumbnail for my Twitch, but today is not that day. Okay. There's the extra bits that I don't need just yet. Here's everything in the dungeon for when we get to that point. Here is our party at the entrance to the dungeon. Here's our party lined up in marching order. Fighter cleric with the halfling, dwarf and thief with the elf in the back. Those are the two with the torches. There is my countdown timer die. Let's grab... Oh, that's what I'm forgetting. Haha, I'm very smart. My 2d6 for 2d6 related activities. I gotta turn that down. Oh no, it's a giant hand. Okay. I have to go get my oracle die. And what was the name of that blog? I said that I would get the blog. Da 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 da. No, it's OD&D Encounter Matrix. Wandering Monster. Delta's D&D hotspot. That's what it was. Okay. Delta's D&D hotspot wandering monster levels. That was the one. Okay. So now I just need to be right back just a little bit. And I don't know how to do that. Oh, I forgot to add my audio source. Is it a media source? Add existing Might and Magic audio. There we go. And then that should start playing. And now we have background music. Ooh, nice. All right. So I have to be right back because I am very smart. I just got to go grab some dice out of my thing in the garage. So I'm terribly sorry. Very professional. Know what I'm doing, 100%. Don't pull over my light. Watch out, Mocha. Watch out, Nook. Doobie-doobie-doop. Just shatter my ankle real quick trying to get out. There we go. Ah, quit it. Okay. Now I've got a fake Matt Jackson Oracle to go with my fake Bandit's Keep. Freaking weapon and armor chart. Watch out, Nook. Okie dokie. I need to get one of those stream starting soon things. Okay. There. So, there's my Oracle. There's my 2d6 for 2d6 related things. There's an initiative die and another initiative die right over there. Grab those. Grab those. Thing, thing, thing. Okay. Push this back just a little bit. That can sit over here. It'll be fine right there. Okay, so let me start the recording for the YouTubes for later. Hold on. Unmute. Welcome back. So we have made it to blah 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 blah. Welcome back. We're picking up where we left off with the members of Lassim's Covenant making it to the tomb of the ancient warrior. We've got our party at the entrance to the tomb, set out in this formation with our fighter and cleric up front, backed up by a halfling with our dwarf and our thief pulling up the middle and the elf pulling up the rear. Our elf's got Hold Portal memorized for the day, so we'll see what comes of that as they enter into the main chamber. Looking around, there are large columns lining the hall, and several of the entrances have collapsed in on themselves. At the far end of the room is a set of wooden double doors, and over at the right we have an entrance into another chamber. As the party enters into the room and begins to explore, they find a... excuse me. As the party enters the room and begins to explore, they find the body of a fallen adventurer, and after searching it for a brief moment, they find a sack of coins containing 400 silver. And now we have to determine, are they going to go north through the open double door, or are they going to go to the east into this next chamber? So I'm going to steal from Bandit's Keep where I saw it, and he says he got it from Matt Jackson. So we're just going to pull out an Oracle. It's supposed to be D6, but I mean, I could only find matched D10 pairs at my friendly local game store, but I did get 3 of each, so we can do some stuff. But we're going to have red be north and green be to the east. So they are going to go through the door into the room to the east, which brings us to room 9. Hi, boys. So room 9 is empty. As they look around to the south, they can see another one of the entrances or, yeah. Room 9 is empty. As they look around the room, they can see that the exit to the south has also collapsed in on itself. But now we are going to take a look and see if we have any wandering monsters. On a 1 we do. So now we're going to check if they're on table 1 or table 2. And they are on table 2. And it is number 6, which is a D3 gas spores. Well, that's no good. How many of them are there? There's only 1. So somewhere in this room is a gas spore, a large floating sack of fungi and gas that resembles a beholder. So let's see. They don't have any bonuses to their surprise, so we're going to check and see, are either of us surprised? The black is the creature, the white is the party. The creature is surprised. Okay. So as we enter the room, we see the creature and we are able to get surprise on it. So how far away from us is it? 3, 6. It is 60 feet away. So we are going to put it over here in the corner. It is about the only place that it can be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Down there in the far corner, because each one of the squares on the map is 10 feet. It is surprised, so we win the initiative. There's an open doorway, so we can't really back out and close the door. So everyone in our team that has a bow or a ranged weapon is going to fire and try to hit it. Our halfling is going to drop their torch. And we've got the halfling, the thief, and the dwarf all have short bows. So the halfling is going to fire with a +2. A gas spore is unarmored. A short bow hits on a 6. The halfling hits on a 5, 4. The halfling hits on a 3. No, I already included the halfling's +1. The halfling hits on a 4 or better. That is an 11. Okay, so the halfling hits. Short bow does a d6 for 5 points of damage against the gas spore's 1d8 hit points. 5 hit points for 5 points of damage. The gas spore gets shot by the halfling and explodes in a massive cloud of shrapnel and debris, dealing 15, 25 points of damage to everyone within 20 feet of it. Luckily, no one was within 20 feet of it. Could you imagine? That would wipe the entire party. There's more hit points worth of damage right there than they have in their entirety. So the gas spore goes down. That's good. Our cleric is just going to hold on to the torch for the halfling, so the halfling can have their bow ready. And the torch will attack as a club in case it comes up later. So now we've got 2 different directions that we can go. We can go up to the north and explore that way, or we can continue off to the east. Gas spores have no treasure, so there's nothing to check there. As we enter into the first one of the antechambers and begin to look around, there's some debris and old carvings in the wall, but nothing of any real note. There's no treasure, there's no bodies, there's no other fun things like that. So we're going to check. Red is north and green is east. We are going to go off to the north, and looking through this door, we can see that there has been a collapse of the structure here, so we can't go through either direction there, so that leaves our only way here into room 10. As the party enters room 10, they hear the giggling laughter of a bunch of sprites, and that will bring us to torch burnout number 4. So there are sprites in the room, so we have to roll surprise for us and them. They are surprised, but not us. Where we see them, and we're not just going to attack a whole bunch of sprites because they are tiny Fae creatures, and nobody wants to mess with the Fae if they don't have to. But are we going to try to talk to them, or are we going to try and just leave? So green is talk, and red is just leave. Okay, so the green got a 10, so we are going to try and talk with the sprites. So let's check their reaction. An 8. 8 is uncertain, roll again. So our party comes in, hey, what's going on? They start trying to talk. The sprites are surprised and they turn and look, and it's just a bunch of nothing. So let's try again. With a 5. A 5 is attack. So the sprites are going to turn and try to attack the party. So we are going to roll for initiative. Our party doesn't really want to fight them. Our party doesn't really want to fight them, so if we win initiative, we're just going to back out. Oh, that is a tie. Okay. So we're going to try and leave, and they're going to try and put us to sleep. But because it's simultaneous, movement happens before magic, so we back out, and they're unable to cast their spells. Let's check and see, are they going to follow us? So on a 1, 2, or 3, they don't. On a 4, 5, or 6, they will. They will follow us into the next room, at which point we are going to try and run again, and we're going to throw some treasure down to try and get them to leave us alone. So we have to roll initiative again. We win the initiative, and we are going to throw 200 of the 400 silver on the ground. And now, because the treasure is there, they are only going to follow us on a 5 or a 6. That is a 4, so we break back into the main chamber. The sprites take the treasure and retreat back to their lair. So now we know, excuse me, now we know that there's a sprite lair up here to the north of room number 9. Excuse me. That brings us down to number 3, which is another wandering monster check. A 6 is fine. There are no wandering monsters. And we're going to give the sprites time to calm down, because we really don't want to mess with that. So we are going to try and go north into whatever this is. That is room number 2. Okay. So we go through the open wooden door. Pardon me. We go through the open wooden door into room number 2. In room 2, over here on the side wall, there is a small shrine, and it contains a whole bunch of coins and little trinkets and knickknacks. There's about 900 silver and 20 gold coins here, along with little rings and jewelry and things. It seems to be a shrine to the warrior that has been laid to rest here, but not... What am I trying to say? Like a shrine made by visitors, a lot like when you see the fountains at restaurants that just have the coins dropped in them. So we're going to check and see. They are greedy adventurers, so it's more likely than not that they're going to take the money from the shrine. Yep, two sixes versus a five. So we are going to take the money out of the shrine. That gives us 500, 500 silver, 400 silver, and 20 gold. But are we going to leave anything in return? Well, unfortunately, we don't really have any trinkets to leave behind, and we need every piece of weapons and armor that we have. So we're just gonna hope for the best, and there are 4 entrances. So we're gonna go with a 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let me get a D4. Nope, there's 5. We can do it with a D10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 8 takes us into this small chamber here and leads around into room number 4. Room number 4 has a band of Zwerfneblin hanging out and... Yeah. Room number 4 has a band of Zwerfneblin deep gnomes that have come in from these 2 landslided areas to the south and to the west. So, because they are in a rocky area, they surprise us on a 1 through a 4, and we surprise them on a 1 and a 2. So, black is the creatures. We are surprised they are not. But what is their reaction? Oh, they're friendly. Okay. So we come into the chamber, and one of them turns and walks out of the rock at us, and like, what the? Oh my goodness! And they seem to be friendly at the moment. We don't have anyone that they would immediately be hostile with. And we do have a dwarf who's able to speak with them, so we're going to roll again and see what they're about. That is a 6. They are friendly. Okay. So the Zwerfneblin are going to let us know that this area is unstable. There have been a lot of cave-ins and... There have been a lot of cave-ins and weak floors, so be on your guard. They're just passing through, doing some little adventuring of their own, and then they head off into the distance over that way. But with Zwerfneblin, there would be 2d6 of them, so it was a band of 4. Oh, and I need the number of sprites that they ran into is also 2d6. There were 9 of them. Okay. So we avoided the 9 sprites in room 10, and we were able to talk our way out of the 4 Zwerfneblin in room number 4. Okay, so that brings us to Torch Burnout turn number 2. And back into chamber number 2, where we have another decision to make. Do we try the door, or do we try to go through one of these 2 chambers? Green is the door. Okay, chambers it is. So this is evens and that's odds. We are going north. So we head north. Yeah. We head north into this side chamber here. And yeah, that will bring us around to room number 3. Room number 3 has some coins scattered across the floor and nobody in it. But that brings us to turn number 1, and our last check for a wandering monster before we have to stop and rest. On a 6, there is no wandering monster here, so we are going to check this door here real quick and see that it is a locked door, and we are going to go ahead and take our rest. So I'm going to mark off one of our torches, 2 of our torches. Alright, so we're 2 torches down, but every member of the team brought 6 torches, so we have plenty of them. And we find another 100 silver and 20 gold. Alright, so we find 100 silver and 20 gold in here. And now we have to push further into the dungeon. So we are going to travel down this direction, and when we come to this crossroads, we're going to this is where we have to decide whether we go into the room or follow the tunnel. So green is room. We are going to go into the room, and that is room number 5. Yep. That brings us into room number 5, which doesn't have anything in it, but we are now down to turn number 5, and we have to check for a wandering monster. Excuse me. There is no wandering monster in room number 5. So we're going to push on to room number 6. And as we start down the corridor into room number 6, in the distance we can hear the sound of battle, because it is not quiet. Having the dwarf and elf move up to the front while the halfling, while the 2 torchbearers pull back to the rear, the dwarf and the elf are going to use their infravision to look into room number 6, where they see a lone gas spore fighting a lone elf. The elf looks as if though it had just been blasted with the gas spore's spore spray, and does not look to be doing fairly well. And our party has to decide whether they're going to try and intervene or not. It is an elf, and we have an elf, so it is more likely than not that we're going to try and intervene. But we also have to get through here, and we have to get past this gas spore if we're going to explore any further into this dungeon. But the question is, are we going to try and let the elf deal with it, or be dealt with by the gas spore, or are we going to try and intercede on behalf of the elf? Oh yeah, no, we are definitely going to take the elf side, at which point we call out to the elf, hey, run back here, run back to us, we will cover you, get back here. And that is going to give the elf a +4 on its reaction. That's an 11, possibly friendly. Okay, so we will deal with that after the combat, as the elf got hit with the spore spray and must save versus poison. An elf's save versus poison is 12. Is the elf okay or not? A 19, the elf is okay. So the elf, well, we're going to roll initiative between... Remember, we are torch turn 5. Us, the elf, the gas spore. So the elf goes before us and runs back through our lines. So let's rearrange over here. We've got the dwarf and our elf, with our fighter and cleric in the rear. and the halfling and the thief pulling up the middle. So again, we won the initiative. The elf has run back past us, and we are going to shoot at the gas spore. The halfling has a +2, hits with an 11. Oh yeah, torch turn number 5. Hits with an 11, dealing 4 points of damage. The gas spore had 3 and explodes. Excuse me. Okay. So we explode the gas spore in room number 6 and give it time to settle, at which point we are both able to enter into the room, and we will double check the elf's reaction. Again, it's got a +4 because we just saved its bacon. 7 is friendly, okay. And let's stop calling the elf an it. He, okay. So we just saved the elf's bacon. He's very grateful for it. And will only, like, there is treasure in the room. A rather large amount of it. And the elf isn't going to make a huge deal out of it, just because the treasure is on the bodies of several of his comrades. The elf just wants their effects and his portion of what the treasure would be. There are 6 of us and 1 of him, so let's add up what all we get real quick, and we will divvy that out, because that sounds like a reasonable thing. We don't really want to fight the elf. Where is my calculator app? Calculator. Alright, so in this room, is 100 gold worth of silver, where's the plus sign? There we go. 100 gold worth of silver, 500 gold worth of electrum, and 6,000 gold pieces. For 6,600, divide that by 7. And then multiply that by 6. For easy math, we will take it all in gold and give the elf the rest, giving us 5,657 gold, and we will leave him with the change, which still gives him 800 gold, which is not a terrible take. And the elf thanks us and leaves. Turn 5, that would give us a wandering monster check, so let's see if something heard that. Nope, okay. So there is no wandering monster check. And that brings us to torch burnout turn number 4. As our party rearranges itself, and we are going to put the cleric and the fighter back in the front, with the halfling there, the dwarf, and the thief, with the elf back in the rear. So that reforms our party, and we are in room 6. So there is another choice to be made. We can go to the east, where we can see a metal door glinting in the torchlight, or we can head to the south and see what's going on over there. So let's have our party listen, and we're going to put 2 down here, or we're going to put 3 here and 3 here. So the elf can listen on a 1 or a 2, and everybody else can listen on a 1. So we're going to check this side over here. They're going to come and listen at the door over here. If there is anything in 8, we will hear it. And we do not hear anything coming from 7. So let's check 8. Okay, there's nothing for them to hear in 8, but the door does not open. And at room 7, there is no door to open. We didn't hear anything, so we're going to check that first before we try and knock a door open. As we round the corner, we encounter a group of veterans. They are surprised by us, and how many are there? 1d6 of them. So there are 5 veterans in room number 7. As we round the corner and our torchlight shines into the room, we see 4 of them gathered around, while a 5th one is pinned under a large piece of stone that has fallen from the roof. Stop trying to turn off. Sorry, my tablet likes to turn itself off after about 30 minutes. I can't find a way to have it never turn off like my phone does, but we'll get there. So our party has already been kind enough to try and help the elf, so we're going to assume that they are a friendly and outgoing party. These are other humanoid creatures dressed like adventurers. They're going to try and lend a hand. They call out, hey, hey, we're here. Is there anything we can do to help? So we take them by surprise, but we're also offering to help, so they will get it was a +4 for being in combat. It'll be another +4 because we're trying to help someone who is injured under the rock. That is a 9. That bumps up. They are immediately friendly because that'll push that over 12. They're immediately friendly, and we come in and try to offer our assistance. We have one character, the elf, who has a strength of 15, which gives us a 1 in 3 chance to open a stuck door. So we're going to say that that is the same chance that they have to attempt to lift this rock off. So our elf has a 1, 2, or 3, while everybody else just has a 1 and 1 to 2 from their strengths of 9 through 11. So 3 people can try it. 1. Okay. The 3 of us gather around and lift the rock off of this poor veteran. And we tell them, like, hey, everything's okay. We've got you. It's safe to rest here for a little bit. There was a gas spore just to the north, at which point we find out that they were also members of the elf's party. And we let them know that it's clear behind us to the exit. And they thank us profusely, and we are going to put it to just a flat 50-50. On a green, they're going to give us a token of their appreciation, and on a red, they're just going to thank us and leave. 8 beats a 6, so they will give us a 600 gold piece of jewelry. Yeah. 600 gold piece worth of jewelry. And now, we took the money from the shrine. But now we have a trinket that we can leave behind. Is our party considerate enough to leave an offering at the shrine of this warrior who we have come to explore the tomb of? 1 is not higher than a 9, so nope, they're just going to keep it. All right, fair enough. We will say that it is a lovely silver ring with a ruby set in it. As they explore room number 7, they know there's a deadfall. The deadfall already triggered on them, so now all they have left is to check this corridor down here, which leads to not a lot of anything. But now we are in a wandering monster turn. A 4 is no monster, so we have to try this stuck door. We don't have any other option. We already listened, there wasn't anything, so we have our elf and 2 regular humans. The elf is a 1, 2, or 3. Nobody opens the door. That is a very loud noise. That is a wandering monster check. That is not a wandering monster because this place is only on 1s. We know that we're about to have to rest. So instead of trying to kick this door down again and risk another wandering monster, we're going to come down here into this safe location, and that is where we are going to take our last turn and rest, resetting our torch burnout die, and check for the wandering monster. That is a 2. That is not a wandering monster. So that brings us back to the door. We got a 1, so we are able to kick through the door into room 8. Searching room 8, we find in the back corner a small pouch with 400 silver pieces in it. And now we have a wandering monster check. Another 2. Close, but not quite. Okay. So that lets us explore the entire northern portion of the dungeon and a relatively decent chunk of the eastern section. Our party has a good chunk of money, but so far haven't encountered too much trouble that they couldn't talk their way out of or handily deal with. So we are going to continue exploring the dungeon. It will take us moving quickly because we've already been through this area. I would say it would take us 2 turns to get back here. So that puts us at turn 3 as we return into the entry chamber, which is a wandering monster check. A 4 is fine. But now, have the sprites calmed down? Is it safe to go into room number 9? It's been a while and we threw some treasure at them, so more likely than not. Yep, the sprites have calmed down, allowing us passage through room 9 into room 11. Okay. But room 11 has more gas spores. So first we have to check. Black is them. Neither group is surprised. 1, 3, okay. So the gas spores are going to be at the end of the hallway. There are 2 of them there. We see them, they see us. So now it is time to roll for initiative. Neither group is surprised. We see them, they see us. There is 1d3 of them. There are 3 of them. Okay, we run into 3 gas spores. We got a 6, they got a 1. So we are going to fall back as far as we can and then shoot them repeatedly. So, our halfling is going to fire. That is 10. That is 5 points of damage into the first gas spore, who has 3 points of damage, causing the gas spore to explode. And that gas spore exploding 12, 15 points of damage. So they can save versus wands for half damage. It is possible to not die. Is it possible? 15. it is possible for one of them to live with 1 hit point. So we have to, it explodes. That one had 7 hit points. It does not survive. It explodes, causing the third one to explode as the gas spores vanish. They're scary, but if you get the drop on them, it's relatively easy to deal with. Excuse me. All right. There were 5 veterans. And another 3 gas spores. Okay. That brings us to turn 2. Not a wandering monster check. But we come over here and check out room number 11. 11 just had the gas spores. Gas spores do not have any treasure. But now we have to decide, are we going to go down south into room 14? Are we going to check the door is stuck, so we're not going to try that yet. Or are we going to try to go into room 12? So evens we go south, odds we go, well, first we're going to listen. I know it's not exactly listening at a door, but we're going to try. So elves on a 1 and a 2. Well, we hear, oh, we double hear. Okay, so if there's anything in 14, we hear the elf in room 14. Okay, what about room 12? Nope, nobody hears anything on 12. So we hear an elf speaking Elven in room 14. Our elf is going to call out to them in Elven, hey, is everything okay? Well, how many elves? There are a d6 of them. There are 6 elves down there. Okay. There are 6 elves in room 14. We call out to them in Elven, hey, are you okay? We just defeated the gas spores that were to the north of you, blocking the area in. We're not looking for a fight, so we're going to check them. They didn't assist them in combat, so they do not get the +4. But we are speaking Elven, so that'll be, the +1 wouldn't matter because that brings us to a 9. One of their members is going to come out and talk to our elf, so we are going to roll again. A 9 again puts them at friendly. Okay. So these elves have a lot of treasure on them, and I mean a lot. But we don't get any of it because we didn't help them. We don't have any real way to bribe or reason with them. So they are going to take their haul, and it's going to be a very standoffy kind of situation as we step over here and they step out that way. They're friendly and cordial, but dangerous times in a dungeon. They're going to head out that way, and we are going to come down south to check out what's going on in here. Alright, so there's a stuck wooden door here and a stuck wooden door there. As we come up into this room, we have more so 1, 2, 3, 4 stuck doors and a locked door. We already have a rather significant amount of treasure, and we haven't really gotten into anything dangerous. So we are going to have our thief try to unlock the door. Let me double check the thieves' lock chance. I know it's relatively high, I just don't know it off the top of my head. OSE. OSE thief. Boop. Thief. OSE SRD. A level 1 thieves' chance to open a lock is 15%. Alright. 31. We are unable to open the lock. Alright. So we can't open this door. We would have to bash through, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So we're going to go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. All right. So we're going to try and break through this door. You and I know that this door is stuck and trapped and leads to a dead end, but they don't know that. So first, we are going to go down to turn 1, and we're going to take a break right here. We're going to light another set of torches, so that will be a total of 6 used so far. We check for wandering monsters. 5 means no wandering monsters. So we're going to have the elf and 2 humans listen at the door. Nobody hears anything. 3 people can try to break the door, so we're going to try and break the door. We get the door, but now each of them has to roll for the trap. It is a 1 in 6 chance that the trap goes off. If the trap doesn't go off, we break the door, and disappointment falls upon our faces as nothing but collapsed stone and dirt on the other side of the door, which brings us to turn 5, and we just made noise, and it's a wandering monster check, so we have wandering monsters on a 1 or a 2. A 5. Okay, everything's fine. So this door is full of nothing but disappointment, leaving us with 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we come down here and try to break open this door into room 15. So first we're going to listen. The elf hears anything in room 15, which there is not. Okay. No. Okay. So there are no creatures in there. So we're going to try and break the door open, and this is going to put us at turn 4 after this attempt. We do break the door open, so we kick the doors open and charge into the room, and there's nothing there except for a pile of gold and silver sitting right here in the corner. Our party likes gold and silver. We're going to go try and pick it up. We're going to have the same 3, so the elf, the fighter, and the halfling are going to be the 3 that go to pick it up. Unfortunately, it is trapped. Oh no. So one of them triggered the trap. Is it the fighter? Is it the fighter or the halfling? It is the fighter who triggers the trap, and it is a pit trap falling down to, it's a pit trap going down, causing 2 points of damage to the fighter, who has 4 hit points. So that's okay, you're still alive, you're still in it, it's alright. So our fighter has 2 of their 4 hit points left. The party pulls them up out of the pit. And now there is a pit blocking the way, but they could see the other doors there, so there's no reason for them to try and go through right here. That leaves us with just these 2 doors left, so we're going to go with evens and odds. Evens, okay. That's not super great. So we've run into a couple of traps, so we're going to have our thief check and see if there are any traps on this door. Find and remove traps is 10% at level 1. 22, okay. So they do not detect the fireball trap on the door there, and I believe... No, they were just checking. So they're going to check. They know this door is locked, but they never checked it for a trap. Oh, wow. A 1. Okay. So we could have used that there. They know this door isn't trapped. Or they don't find a trap here, and they don't find a trap there. So now, evens odds. Evens. We're going to try and break through the trapped door. Our fighter is going to take a step back, and our dwarf is going to step up. So it's going to be our dwarf, our cleric, and our elf. Okay, the elf breaks the door down. That brings us to turn 3. One of these. Yep, that brings us to turn 3. We break the door down. Each of them has a 1 in 6 chance of triggering the trap. The elf triggers the trap, okay? So, that is 2d6 fire damage that goes off, hitting all 3 of them. That is 6 points of damage, okay? This is very survivable. They have to save versus spell. So, our dwarf has to save with a 12. Our dwarf does not. Takes the full 6 points of damage and now has to save versus death on an 8. Our dwarf is unconscious but alive. Okay, and now our elf has to save versus spells. They save with a 15. They do not. That brings them to 0 because they had 6 and they have to save versus death at a 12. They do, so they are unconscious. Unconscious. And our cleric has a 15. That missed by 1, so they have 5 hit points. She goes down, and now save versus death at 11. The cleric survives. Okay. So our party kicks this door open, and a fireball goes off in their face, and the 3 frontline members go down. They're still alive, but they are down. And I believe the 3 here are going to choose discretion as the better part of valor and drag their friends outside. So, we have to check for a wandering monster. A 2. Okay, no wandering monsters, thankfully. We are going to leave. We are dragging bodies, so that'll be 1, 2. We have 1 more wandering monster check. A 5. We are able to get out of the dungeon and leave. So now, I'm going to take my little pen and color in everything that they have seen. Just get this knocked out real quick so that we do not forget for next time, because I know me, and I absolutely will. But our group is going to take the money and run. And we are going to get this colored in real quick, and because I don't have anything going on in the morning, we are going to go ahead and take a moment to reset, and we are going to try and get them back home, because I just got the overworld map and I am very happy with it, because the last one that we had was just a very crude hex map that we were kind of winging it with, and I went and used the Hexographer Worldographer, which is an amazing program, and more people should use it. But I got a hold of that and used it to build the actual for realsies hex map of the area. And it's about the size of Indiana, but Indiana runs north-south and this runs east-west just because of the nature of it. But we are going to break that bad boy out and put it to work. And because everywhere we have explored is in the marker, I know where we have been and where we still have to go for next time. Because they are going to return to town, rest up for a bit, probably about a month or so, because that's... I've been watching Bandit's Keep, and he does another solo live play like I'm doing, or well, I'm doing one like he's doing. But he is using OD&D with chainmail, and I am using the BX rule set with a few house rules. I was going somewhere with that, and then I forgot. Oh yeah, we're going to be back in about a month. I don't use one-to-one real time, but I do use time, and the time does matter. So we're going to start actually keeping track of it with this group as they return back. So if it takes a day in game, it does take a day, and we are going to keep track of that. But I'm not going to have it be where every day in real life is a day in the game, even though I do really enjoy that on our West Marches game that we have going on Discord. I have too many other things to do to try and keep up with that, because that would drive me absolutely crazy. But we did get a very large portion of this dungeon done before that door exploded in our face. I'm just glad we didn't run into any green slimes and have our party just get completely annihilated in one of the worst ways possible. I mean, it's not the worst way possible. They could have been infected with a they could have been infected with a gas spore when they were hit with its spore spray, and then 24 hours later they would explode in a cloud of bile and vitriol as 1 to 3 gas spores pop forth from their body, all chestbuster style. So I'm glad that didn't happen. But now we have to see if we can get back home safely. Is that everything that we saw? Nope, not quite. Okay, so that's everything that we've encountered so far. And if I've done this right, I don't know that it really will be all that much more visible to you on the internet. But let's take a minute and see what it looks like when I do this. Nope. How about that? So this is the part we came in through here, up and around, and then we came back and down through here, and this is where we exploded. So that's the map that we have to work with. And if you'll give me just 1 second, I will go and get the other one, and we'll set up for something else. Let me go put this away. No, this way. Alright, so I can get rid of this. Oh, check this out. This is so cool. It is gigantic. It is 17 by 22 inch graph paper. It is ridiculous. Okay. Roll it that way. Roll it this way. Triangle lake goes down there. There we go. Hey, unlock. Nobody said you can lock. There we go. Okie dokie. Hoo-ba-doo-ba-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Hey, that worked out well. That was almost an hour for that. So let me stop the recording and start the recording. Okay, welcome back. So, last time when we had our party come out of the warrior shrine, we were using an entirely different map. This is the new world map that we have for the area, with Havenswood being right here in the middle of all of this farmland, and then coming down into the grassland over here towards Triangle Lake. This is where our party managed to make it with the wagons and whatnot when we came out last time. So now, and not exact, but we're working with it. So now our party is going to try and make it back up to over here. So it doesn't matter very much to me which direction this is facing, so I'll try my best to get it oriented better for you, because you're the one watching this. Okay. So we got a whole bunch of treasure out of the dungeon, and then we had our party explode. So now we need to take a rest and recover 1d3 hit points for each of our characters. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So our fighter, cleric, elf, and dwarf are all hurt. So we're going to go with our fighter, our cleric, and our elf. Oh wait, no. Fighter, cleric, elf. There we go. Okay. So the fighter gets 3, but they were only down. So the fighter is back up to full, so she's doing much better. I said the cleric, yeah. The cleric got 2, so she is conscious again. The elf got 2, so he is conscious again. And the dwarf just gets 1, but is conscious again. Okay. All right. So we are here at these ruins. Would they be ruins? Or would it be over here? We're here. That's right. We're here at the shrine of the old warrior. And we have to get from here back over here to Havenswood. So what we're going to try and do is we can either come south around Triangle Lake and have to ford the river, or come north around Triangle Lake and try to either... Hold on. I think it was right here. No. Sorry, give me a minute. There. That's where we were. So we have to try and get home from here. So we want to try to get out of the forested hills into the grasslands and then travel over towards Havenswood. We've got 4 movement points per day. These cost 2 to move through here in the hills and the forest. Oh, I'm sorry, these are mountains. So these cost 3, these cost 2, those cost 2. So first we have to see if we get lost. We're lost on a 1 or a 2. We are not lost. So it is going to take 3 points to move here, and then 1 point to move there. We get into an encounter on a 6. There is no encounter. So we are down 1 more day's rations. No. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to check to see if we get lost. We are not lost, and we've got 4 movement points. 1, 2, yeah. 1, 2, and that puts us on the trail on 3. Half, that puts us on 4, because this is a major highway, and the highway on grass costs half a movement. So we are going to roll. Now it is nighttime. Oh, hit points. We forgot hit points. So we are going to start with our dwarf, who gets 1, and she is back up to 2. Our cleric gets 1, so she is back up to 3. Our fighter is fine, and our elf gets 1, bringing him up to 3. So, not great, but not bad. Now we roll for an encounter in the grassland. Nope. That is another day of rations, and I need to roll 1 more because we spent the night outside the dungeon. I forgot to roll for the encounter, but I'll try and do better, I promise. It is the next day. We are on the trail, so we check and see if we get lost. We do not. And that brings us safely to Havenswood. We have returned safely. That is 1 more day's worth of rations. And now we have to add up all of the treasure that we got. Where's my clear? There we go. Okay. So we got 200. And 500. And this is all silver. 400. 100. And 400. for 1,600 silver, which is 160 gold. And then we got 20 and another 20 and 5, 6, 5, 7. 600 gold worth of jewelry. And the 160 in silver brings us to 6, 4, 5, 7. That's not bad. That's a little more than 1,000 gold worth per person, but we have to give a third of our treasure to our patron because they did. Yeah, is it a third? I have to check the exact number. 1,100. We have to give 1,100 gold to our patron because they made blah 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 blah. We have to give 1,100 gold to our patron because they were kind enough to outfit us. Lassim gave us starter money to get our wagon, to get the 2 horses, to get all of our equipment, to send us out on our first adventure. So we're going to put that in. That's 50. That gives us 53, 57 in raw gold total, but what we have to give to our patron doesn't count towards the experience. Now we have to do the experience. Let's get these out of the way. So, gross. So we got into a fight with 1 gas spore. Gas spores worth 6, and then Zwerfneblin are worth 10, and there were 4 of them. Sprites are worth 6, and there were 9 of them, so that's 54. Okay. Veterans are worth. Oh, there he is. Veterans are worth 10, and there were 5 of them. And then 3 more gas spores for 18, and then 6 elves at 19. 6 times 19 is a number. Okay, that would be 100. 120 minus 6 is 114. And then we add all this up, and that's 10, 22, 20, 10, 14, 16, 17, 18, 282. 282 from the combats.
It's cold.
Yes, it is cold, love.
Why didn't you turn out? I just almost said, why didn't you turn out the windows?
Because I haven't done that. Okay, so that's 9, and that's 13, and that is 7, and okay, so I'm not so good at division, so let's check this out. We've got 6, 7, 3, 9 divided by the 6 party members. Everybody gets 1,123 experience, which is not enough for anybody to level, but it is a very good starting place. 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, everybody came back from the adventure alive, and we got 1,123 experience points each, which is just under enough for our thief to level, but more than halfway for our fighter and pretty close to half for the dwarf, if not just right around. So that went really well. Way better than when we explored the dungeon to the north. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have the Covenant take a break I'm going to figure out the travel time they went and came back, and they won't be available for another month in game. When they're back, we're going to see if we're going to have them spend some of their money, try to find a rumor about something going on in the area that they can go and explore. And if they can't find anything worth it, then they will come back and try to explore deeper into the Shrine of the Warrior, because they did not return with I remember it was some kind of magical armor or shield, but I can't remember what it was. So we'll deal with that later. I'll watch back and find out and make better notes. But we'll have them do what they do, and I'm going to roll. There are 28 days in the month. So I'm going to roll a d10 or a d20 and a d8. And the Covenant will be back when they get back. But I'm going to go ahead and roll a d20 and a d8, and that will tell us when the next group is going to set out. They set out on the 17th of the first month. Alright, so that was Lassim's Covenant.
You take the boys out.
Okay. Hey, love. Pick one.
Left.
This one? Okay.
Come on, boys, let's go outside.
So our next group to leave is going to be Belia's Order on the 17th, or possibly the Conclave of Vefa on the... Nope. So Belia's Order is going to leave on the 17th, and the Conclave of Vefa on the 20th. And I will find things for them to do as well. But that's everything that we've got so far, and that gives me some homework to do over the next couple of days. So, thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the normal YouTube stuff. Take care, stay safe, have a good day. How do I stop this? Stop the recording.